Doctor Strange is another Marvel Studios film which centers around an obscure character by Marvel, Doctor Strange. This movie is about how a very successful surgeon, Stephen Strange, gets into a car accident one night, who seeks the help of this being called the Ancient One, who runs this group of monks, and in part of trying to fix his hands through her teachings, he actually becomes something bigger. A sorcerer supreme. So I like Doctor Strange. I love how different he is from the other Marvel characters because he's somewhat of a magical being in the Marvel universe. He deals with a lot of the mythical elements of the Marvel universe, and he is somewhat of a universal character. So when I found out that they were making a movie based upon this character, I knew that we were going to be reaching the multiverse of the Marvel universe. And it was so good to see Benedict Cumberbatch in this role because I remember when this movie was in talks of production and Marvel really wanted him to be in this film, and they got him. And that was just such a fan service because that was such a huge thing on the internet, was people wanted Benedict to be Doctor Strange. He fit the role perfectly. And you can see that throughout this film. He is Doctor Strange as Robert Downey Jr. is to Tony Stark. He's a very arrogant surgeon, he's very egotistic, and Benedict Cumberbatch perfectly plays this role and was very close to the comics. However, the way they presented the character in this movie, I think, this is a very hard MCU character to follow. It's so hard to be behind this character in this film because in the middle of the film, he's such an asshole. And not like an asshole where he's a narcissist like Tony Stark. In the beginning, yes, but the kind of asshole who is just unbearable to everyone around him. Even in the beginning of the movie where he gets into his car accident, it's so hard to feel for this character. 1, he's going over the speed limit. 2, he's driving over the side of a cliff. 3, he's passing everyone around him when it's a two-way street. 4, he's on the phone. 5, there is a computer screen in his car where he is actually looking up patient x-rays because he's too damn impatient to wait to get to the hospital, but he's on the go all the time, and he's looking up all these screenshots in his car. And what do you guess? He gets into a car accident. And then when he realizes that he can't use his hands anymore and he can't really be a surgeon, he blames everyone around him. And it is just so hard in the beginning of this film to be behind this character because he's such an asshole to everyone around him. However, his progression in the film does pay off. He goes to these monks and he learns the magic ways and he betters himself as a human being. So in regards to being behind him in the beginning and the middle of the film, it's very, very hard. But his progression does pay off, I will admit that. This film is also one of the most mind-bending Marvel films that I have ever seen. Picture The Matrix and Inception combined into this one film, where everything environment-wise is changing. You have to be focused on these characters and their fight styles, because if you look around, you're gonna probably get sick. But sick in a good way, like a psychedelic way. This is a very psychedelic film, and the visuals are just incredibly stunning in this movie. However, his training and how he gets to that point is very rushed, I will admit that. It felt like the beginning and middle of the film was somewhat of a montage, really, where everything is just rushed. He gets into his accident, they're doing procedures on him, he goes to the Ancient One, they train him, and it just feels really, really rushed. Like, it's almost like a montage in the beginning and middle of the film and not really a movie. And it does seem like he's trained very fast and it's pushed in the scenes. And there's one part of the film that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. He goes to the library and he meets up with the librarian Wong. And Wong tells him that there are these other books that he cannot touch. They're chained, you can clearly see that, and it's firmly established that no one is allowed to read these books and they belong to the Ancient One. And right after he says this, Doctor Strange just goes up to these cages and takes the books out, and Wong is just looking at him as he's doing it. Like, he just said that these books were not supposed to be read, and what is the point of there to be chains around these books if he's just going to be able to take them out in the first place? And I did feel as though at times the movie was settled heavily around its lore, and there are like different beings and there are like different items, and you're not exactly sure as an audience member what that means when Doctor Strange is accepted by this Cloak of Levitation. You don't exactly know what that means and why the Cloak of Levitation picked him, but it's through Stephen Strange as an outsider where these scenes are redeemable. Where his reaction is like, I don't know what you're talking about, I'm here to just fix my hands. Can we just like move on, people? It's that kind of charisma, and Benedict Cumberbatch does an amazing job as Stephen Strange in this film. And another thing that really bothered me about this film was there's a character that's pretty established in the beginning of this film, and at the ending of the film he takes a total left turn, and it's like, I thought you were on our side, why are you randomly leaving? This doesn't make any sense. It's just one part of the film that really bugged me, but I guess you do need a villain for like the second movie, so it kind of makes sense. I don't know. It's something that just bothered me. So guys, is Doctor Strange a good Marvel movie? Yes, in terms of visual and establishing this new character, I think it's a pretty good Marvel film, and it's really different. Does it have the best script? No, it doesn't have the best script. Some things don't make sense, but it's redeemable because we have this new character who is going to be presented into other Marvel films, and I guarantee you he's probably going to be in a Marvel film in 2017. Very, very likely. I would strongly recommend seeing Doctor Strange if you guys are a fan of Benedict Cumberbatch, if you're a fan of Marvel, and if you just want to see a new obscure Marvel character being presented into the film world. I can't wait to see him in the future. I can't wait to see this new corner of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I did enjoy my time at the movie theater. Some problems, yes, but I enjoyed it. Alright guys, that was my review of Doctor Strange. Comment down below what you thought of this movie if you've seen it yet. Like the video, share it, and please subscribe to PixelTalk if you haven't yet for more movie reviews, trailer reactions, and gaming content. Thank you guys so much. I am Corbin Stuckey, and this is Pixel Talk.